Thank you so much for joining us on Straight Outta Savannah. I am super excited to have my guest, Breindel Wood, joining me here to talk about the pilot of her new show. And it is going to be amazing. So she's going to tell you exactly who she is and what it is that she does. Take it away.
Hi, my name is Breindel Wood. I'm an actress, a writer, producer, and now an editor. And yeah, so I have this new show that I've made, and it's called Celebrities. It's a comedy to make people laugh. And I just finished cutting the trailer, so it's on IMDb right now. And my goal is to finish editing the pilot by August. And yeah, and then hopefully it gets picked up into a TV series.
That is so exciting. Oh my God. So tell us a little bit about why you decided to do this show. I mean, what was the creation behind it?
So it's kind of a long story, but I'm going to make it short. Thanks. Okay. So I'd say around 2004, I was writing and I had a play and I got that produced. And what I had done was I just started telling the universe, like anybody who would listen, I'd say, yeah, I'm producing a play. I had no idea how I was going to do it. I didn't have any money, but I would just keep saying it and saying it. And then one day I ran into a woman I never met before, and I was telling her about it. And she suggested that she'd help produce and kick money in. And I said, well, I'll give you a lead role in it, because she was an actress. And then after that, maybe a few years later, I decided, you know what, maybe what I can do, since I can write, but I don't have money, I can find another actress who is either has money or is willing to help me produce, and we can make a web series and I'll write her a starring role. So so I went around saying that I was going to do this. And, at first nobody was really into it. And then one day I was at a party and there was a woman and she was like, oh yeah, I'll do it. So we started producing it together and I started writing. And what came out was this comedy about actors in New York City. So it was kind of self-reflective,
Yeah.
And it didn't work out with her producing. So I found myself in a position where I was like, oh my God, I can't do this by myself. But I said, you know what? I'm just going to go with the hand of God, because I've been in this situation before where everything fell apart. So I don't have to worry about that. I've done it already. And, if it happens, it happens. And would you believe it, Tammy? I just kept going and going with no money. I had no clue how this was going to happen, but I would just like meet with, young people who wanted to do crew. And we had gotten a SAG after, the union, a new media contract where we could defer pay, which means, if it makes money, you get paid. And if it doesn't, we're all working sweat equity. So I got a crew and I got a director and I got all the locations and just nice people who were like, yeah, you could film here. And somehow it was all coming together. And I thought to myself, you know what, chances that is actually going to get filmed? Probably not, but I'll just keep going. And would you know it, not only did we get it all filmed, but there were all these crazy miracles. I decided I needed a TV studio. Well, what was going to be the TV studio, right? And then one of the extras is like, oh, I know a guy who has a green screen room, for studio. And and we walk in there, in between filming, and the new extra, who I'd never met before, by the way, his name is James Farley, he just hands the guy $200 and he's like, you've got yourself a studio. So we actually wrapped a week early. It was just like all these miracles were happening. And it really was just from me letting go and letting God, like they say. I was just like, who knows, I'm just going to ride this until it crashes. And you know what? It worked. We finished. But I lost some footage. I had no editor. And I kept having friends and people edit every once in a while. And then understandably, their life would take over and it never got done. And then ironically in 2019. So this is now a year before COVID lockdown.
Yes.
I said, I want to do a web series, but I don't really want to leave my house. So I started
Yes.
doing one on Zoom and just inviting friend actors to meet me on Zoom from their homes. And we made this whole web series. It's on Facebook. It's called 365 to Live. And then thanks. And so I started editing it myself. And then one day my husband said to me, you can edit yourself now. You should take celebrities, from 11 years ago, and you should edit it. And that's what I've been doing this year.
Isn't that awesome? Don't you love it when your spouse, or what am I calling people, significant others, can actually see the vision and actually help you with it? Is that not amazing?
Amazing.
That vision is like, I got goosebumps just listening. I was actually giggling, and I didn't want you to think I was laughing at you.
No, not at all. I get you.
It was just amazing just to hear all the miracles. And this is like, that warms my heart, because I love to see it. And people need to hear it, that just when you have that vision and you have a dream, something in your heart that you want to do, regardless, you just start moving, and then things start happening, miracles start happening, the hand of God is on it, and it just starts showing up. And it's like amazing. Oh my God, I love it. Tell us more.
Absolutely. And first, I just want to say, first of all, thank you for inviting me to your show. And when I saw what your theme was about, I thought, wow, this is so great, because I want to make my dreams come true. I want other people to, and like you just said, just keep moving. So many times we get caught up in, well, maybe I can't do it, or maybe I'm too old to do it, or maybe I'm too this to do it, or I'm not
Yes.
enough of this. And then we just don't do it. When if you did it, what happens if you did it and it didn't work out? Well, at least you tried, and
At
you
least you
never
knew.
know. Right.
Yes.
Right. And you always get somewhere, you never go back to square one, because now you're a new being, because you had that experience. How many times successful people have failed,
Yes.
but the only
I
reason
look at
they're
the
successful
older
is because
ones,
they learn.
right?
Say it
I
again.
look, I said, I look at the older ones, like, like Louise Hay. She didn't even, do her book until what, 55?
Yep.
And then I look at, and okay, so I'm on the fitness thing right now. That's
Mhm.
one of the things that I'm doing, because I got to do it.
Yeah.
And so I look at the older ladies, like the 80-year-old, that 85-year-old woman that's got the, built, cut body, and she's doing the competitions and
Oh,
things.
yeah. I've seen her.
But she
Yeah.
didn't start till she was in her 50s.
Right.
So I'm
Right.
like, so I look at that, and I'm like, because I'm in my 50s. And so I
Me
look
too.
at the fact that, I was like, I feel like this is like, I told my husband, I said, sometimes I feel myself going, okay, I got to do this. I got to get this done. I got to get this done. I got to get this done. And I'm in that hustle place, which I don't like. And it doesn't even work for me anyway, because I'm a reflector. So it doesn't work. And so, but I find myself there because I say, oh God, I got more years, behind me than in front of me.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
so, and then I say stuff like this, I want to live to be at least 100, in my right mind, doing my thing,
Right. Right. And
but, right?
Mhm.
But when you get there, it's like, okay. And then when you sit back and you say, okay, no. I'm not going to embrace that. I'm going to embrace the divine feminine. I'm going to embrace all of the divinity that is within me, that has shown me and given me this gift and this particular dream and vision and thing in my heart. I'm going to embrace that, and then as you do that, things just line up. I'm just listening to your story is so amazing. Because
Thanks.
the thing is people allow money to stop them all the time, and they die with those dreams, and it's like, no,
Yeah.
because many people started without a dime, just with a dream and a vision, just like you said. And you
Right.
see everything starts lining up. It's like everything gets into alignment. And that's the magic. That's the
Yeah.
miracle. And so anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you were saying about like looking at like how much that you have more years behind you, but let's say you go from 50 to 90, right? That's another 40 years.
Right.
Right. And
Yes.
let's say like somebody, let's say somebody, God forbid, but they like pass away at like in their 70s. From 50s to 70s, it's still 20 years is a long time. Like,
Yes.
what are you going to do with it? Go, oh, it's practically over. Like, no, but it's
Well,
not.
people do. People do.
Yes. Yeah.
But that's one of the reasons why I like working with women over 40, because that's the time when people start saying, oh, I'm old, I hear it all
Yeah.
the time, and I'm like, no, you're not.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. And,
you're
I think, Tammy, I think a lot of it has to do with our society,
yeah, it does.
especially for older women,
Yes.
in every field, it's like, oh, you're done, and I think we're finally gotten to a better age where, even with the acting, where it's like, oh, forget it if you're not young,
Right.
that people are starting to appreciate older women.
The
Um,
wisdom
yeah,
and the beauty that we carry, because of so many times, because of all the things that we have endured in life, and
right.
it's like, because you look at Betty White, she was still acting until she left here, right?
Oh,
That was
yeah.
amazing. I love her.
Yes.
But it's like, and I mean, so many of them. Because I'm trying to think,
Mhm.
she was still acting. Cicely Tyson was still acting right before she died. So
Yeah.
it's like, they were 90s, 100, whatever, it's like, wow, they can still. But
Louise
years
Hay.
ago,
Mhm.
they would make young people up to look old. Remember?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
They would
Cicely
make them
Tyson,
up. And,
right? They
yeah.
made her up to look up, right? In Jane.
Yeah. Back in Jane Pippen when she was
Yeah,
young.
yeah, yeah.
That's amazing. But that's what they did. Hollywood would do that. They would make young people up to look old. So what about the older women that could be,
Right.
right? And
Totally.
now it's
Totally.
like you said, it's almost like now they're opening up and they're looking at older women and saying, okay, yeah, older women, still beautiful
Yeah. Yeah.
and wise, with way more wisdom than some of the young ones, and it's like, yeah, let's take advantage of that. Definitely
Right.
take advantage of that.
Right. And, despite what anybody says, you just got to keep believing in yourself and do it anyway. You just do it
Yeah,
anyway because,
I love that.
yeah, anybody else's definition is not who you are. And, one thing I've learned is you've got to take yourself very, very seriously because nobody else will. And when somebody doesn't take you seriously, if you just keep taking yourself seriously, eventually you're going to, what's the word I want to use? Like a magnet, attract
Right.
people who support that.
Yes. Yes. And that is so real, because
Mhm.
I'm telling you, it can be unnerving when you are the only one that believes in your vision, right?
Yeah,
And
totally.
so and I think that's the part. I was speaking with a friend yesterday and we were talking about consistency, because she just started TikTok and she likes to do like investigation and stuff, like the ID things and stuff. And
Mhm.
so she was doing that for one of her cousins or something. And I said, girl, I said, you could do that. I said, right there on YouTube and TikTok and whatever. I said, people would love that kind of crap, because
Mhm.
she was like, yeah, I'm really good at investigating. I thought about getting my private investigator, and she's
Mhm.
young, so I don't know. I laugh. My husband and I always collect children that don't belong to us where we move.
Oh, yeah.
So these kids are like, they're like our kids' age, like in their 30s. And
Mhm.
so she was like, yeah, I'm thinking about this. And so she'd bounce some things off. And I said, yeah, you'd be good at that. And so she's like, yeah, she said, but my problem is consistency. I said, okay, I can help you with that. I said, I can, call you and be, help you be accountable to do your videos and this and that. Because I told her, I said, that would be good. That would be like, that's an
Mhm.
excellent way. I said, because people are making all kinds of money online.
Yeah.
She's got a couple kids. I was like, you don't got to go out and, be working all the time out there. I said, you can be doing it in the house. And she
Mhm.
was like, girl, she was like, my husband told me to talk to you. I was
Mhm.
like, and I told her, I said, and that one was free. But I think it's such an amazing thing about your show. So you said it's running on IMDb now?
The trailer is
The trailer.
the
Okay.
trailer for it. And then I'm my goal is to finish editing it and to release it in August.
So what's the process of that like?
Oh, it's really interesting. Well, this year, because, I took a project and footage from 11 years ago. So first of all, what's that? Oh, thanks. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my husband found it's called Davinci Resolve, and it's an editing system that anybody can use. It's free. They have an advanced one for like $300, but I've been doing the whole thing for free. And it's really nice because a lot of,
Is it easy?
it's what? Yeah, there's a learning curve. But then once you start, and there are a lot of YouTubers who teach you how to do it. So when I run into a problem,
you go to YouTube University.
absolutely. A big shout out to 𝐁𝐮𝐲 𝐀𝐦𝐚𝐳𝐬. Check out his videos, anybody out there who wants to edit with DaVinci. He's awesome. Really, really helpful. Speaking of taking myself seriously, I play 3 characters in this comedy, and I'm going to introduce you to 2 of them right now. Hang on.
I was gonna ask, but I was waiting. Oh, shucks. All right.
Hey, how you doing today?
All right. How you doing?
Hey, I'm Dolores.
Oh, Dolores. Okay, nice to meet you.
This is a cool show you got here.
Yeah. So what you doing with yourself?
Oh, a little of this, a little of that.
Mm-hmm. Where you from?
I'm a mover and a shaker. You know how it is. I'm from New York City.
New York, yes.
Yeah. Where are you from?
I'm from Georgia.
Oh, yeah, Georgia. I've heard of that place.
Yeah, peaches down there.
Well, I'm going to let Breindel come back, but nice to see you, cutie.
Yeah, same.
Don't take any wooden nickels.
I love it. I love it. I love it. She looks like I was gonna say the quintessential, maybe Italian mob wife.
Yeah, I could see that.
I love movies too. I do. I love them, and they give me such inspiration.
Yeah.
I laugh. I tell people, I said I get the most inspiration from movies and music. So I'm super excited about your show. I cannot wait.
Oh, thanks. Thanks so much.
Yeah, because I'm thinking like you got that character and then 2 more. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Going to be amazing. So what is next for you?
Oh, good question. Well, I've got some other things I've been working on, also for over 10 years, off and on. I've been working on something that I thought was going to be a movie, but I really feel like it's more of a TV series now. Back when I started, it's historical. It's based on history. And back then, nobody was really doing anything with history, but then they had the movie Lincoln. I think Steven Spielberg came out with that.
Yeah.
And that was around the time I was thinking, wow, maybe someone would actually like this. But I have so much material, and I'm in love with all the material. Not as like, I'm not saying I'm in love with my writing. I mean that it's real historic documents that I'm using for the material and the characters, and it's based on the beginning of the anti-slavery movement in the United States in the 1830s. So, as we know, the slaves were freed in the mid 1860s. but the slavery movement really started. I mean, I'm sure it started before that a little bit here and there, maybe even 1815, 1825 here and there. But in the 1830s, it really started snowballing. And by 1839, it was kind of like, in 2016 when, the election with right, and how like 9 out of 10 people were talking about the presidential election here, so in 1839, 9 out of 10 people were talking about slavery. But it was because it came up because most people didn't care, most white people didn't care. It had nothing to do with them. And then what happened was there were senators and congressmen who were fighting in Congress to end slavery. And finally, some people in Congress put down a rule saying no one's allowed to talk about it anymore. And yeah, so there were people, citizens who were sending in petitions, and they were being told, nope, nobody can talk about it. Like, we're not looking at your petitions. And so when they found out that, people who didn't care about the petitions, who didn't care about slavery, found out that their right to petition was now being challenged, and that's their freedom right, then they started, so it started that way. Yeah. It started that way. And then, but the people who were really against slavery and who were really fighting against that, they started, like, that was their, it kind of like a crowbar. It just kind of opened that door for them with the rest of the people, at least in the North. And so they started traveling around giving talks wherever they could, in churches or in barns or whatever, and started changing people's minds about it. And so I just find the whole process so important, because there's this whole divide, like the white people and the black people. And I think, first of all, the whole thing's, stupid. Obviously, everyone knows it's stupid, that it's like an understatement to say that. But
because if you think about it, if you do your DNA, I did mine.
Yeah.
All kinds of people are in me.
Right.
And it's like that for all of us.
Right.
It's like, you might not even know, but you have so much Middle Eastern, blood or whatever in you.
Yeah.
And people love to hate them.
Right.
But it's like, why?
Yeah.
And it's amazing how it wasn't like that prior to like the 1500s.
Right.
It wasn't like that. People were people, and that, everybody was everybody. And then all of a sudden, you got some people that decided that, oh, I need to be superior. And then I need to use, religion to help that.
Right.
So, yeah. So I think this is going to be amazing.
Thanks. I totally agree. And, I started back in, I want to say around 1998. I started writing stories that included Black people, and it included LGBTQ people. And the stories have nothing to do with being Black, and they have nothing to do with being I'm gonna mess it up. I don't know what happened, tongue twister all of a sudden, but I think it's just my nerves. But yeah, but it was like, I think it was when I was a kid. And do you remember that movie Action Jackson?
Yes.
I'm trying to remember who starred in it.
The one that was in Rocky.
Yeah. Right.
Carl
Weathers, thanks. And when I saw that, I was like, this is the first movie I'm seeing starring a Black person that's not about being Black. Like, he just gets to star in a movie. And of course, yeah. And, of course, movies about, what it means to be Black, what it means to be Jewish, what it means to be gay, like, all of those are important, of course. But I just think it's such a shame that, like, people don't get cast in something that isn't about that unless they're white, and I don't mean just Black people. Like I have a friend
No,
who's
just anybody,
Asian,
everybody.
and she gets turned
Yes.
down for roles all the time, and they go to white women, and because money, it brings in money, or whatever, and it's just so
Or they
that's
want them
something
to
that
be typically whatever it is. Like if they're Middle Eastern, they want them and if
right,
they're Asian,
right,
they want, it's
right,
crazy. And it's like,
yeah,
no, they're born
right,
here, or whatever, but yeah, that you're right about that. And
yeah, yeah.
it's like, come on now, everybody, like
Mhm.
I heard somebody talking about, it was a post that somebody put out about Denzel and Macbeth.
Okay.
Well, why did they have him play Macbeth? I was like, because Macbeth was Black anyway.
Right,
You read the story.
right, right.
I was like, that was kind of perfect, really. And he did a damn good job.
Right.
Everybody in that movie was good.
Oh my gosh,
It
I
was
haven't seen it
hilarious.
yet.
And people jumped all over that person on, on that thread. I just read through and they were like, what is wrong with you? Have you even read it? Did you study Shakespeare at all? Did you go to school?
Right, right.
But
That's
these
funny.
are things that people say. And it's
Yeah,
crazy. It's like, come on now. What difference does it make?
right, right,
Let the best actor win, not the white one. Let the
right.
best actor win.
Yeah.
And let's film like that. And that is like excellent and exciting. I'm so excited about this project that you're doing.
Thanks so much. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it too.
Yeah. Yeah. So what does your husband think about it?
So he's just really supportive, Um, yeah, he's just a really great person and my best friend. And I was engaged a few times to a few other people before. And you know, I'm just so glad that I held out because yeah, he's just a really supportive person, and we're both very similar. We both spend all day working on our creative projects. And I think if I were married to somebody else, I would drive anybody else crazy because they'd be like, don't you want to go out? Don't you want to go get drinks? Don't you want to go to a restaurant? Don't you want to like have friends? And the two of us are just like, we both spend all day working on our creative projects, and then we meet for lunch and hang out and watch a sitcom or a TV show that we like, and then we meet again for dinner, and then we go to sleep and talk about our day, and we're just like really happy. Like we just like working on our projects. I know it sounds like we're the biggest nerds, and we probably are, but
No, it's amazing. It's amazing. I'm telling you, my husband and I, we just took that long trip across the country and went to Mississippi.
oh, beautiful.
Yeah, and people were like, "Ooh, that's a long drive," because we live in Washington State. So we were like, well, yeah, but it was good because we were together. And so his brother says, "Man, don't you know that you can't be in a car with a woman over 5 hours and y'all don't argue?" My husband's like, "Clearly, you've never been in love."
Oh, good comeback. Very
We're
good
like,
comeback.
no, we had a great time because we were together almost 2 weeks. We drove down there and then we stayed a few days, did the wake funeral, all that stuff, and then drove back and we drove the long way.
Oh, that's right. That's right. I remember now. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because you were like, you think you're gonna be back? I'm like, yeah, we'll be back.
Right, right.
But it was amazing, and I think about that because we're the same way. People are like, y'all aren't gonna go. I'm like, no, we're not gonna. No, we're good. Now
Right.
he's not working on creative stuff, but I'm like up here in my office, and he'll be some days he's like, if he's off, he's like, so you've been up there 10 hours.
Wow,
I'm
wow.
like, no, I didn't realize that. I'm having a good time doing what I do, and it's amazing.
Yeah.
I love to hear that, when people are
Yeah.
so simpatico like that, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
do. I actually did bite the bullet and was married to somebody else for 20 years.
Oh, well, I had a first marriage too. Yeah, and I've a kid. But after that, I got engaged a couple times and it didn't
One
go through.
time, and he
Yeah.
was a jerk. So I was so glad I didn't do that one. I had a few that asked, and I was like, I ain't ready, no, no. But that jealous is like so amazing. I am
Well,
so excited about this conversation that we have had. It's
thanks. Me
been
too.
amazing.
Well,
So share.
oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to
No, I was
interrupt
going
you.
to tell you share. Go ahead and share.
Oh, I was okay. No, I was going to give a shout out to my husband,
Yes, do that.
Eric Shefferman, because he actually has worked on celebrities a lot for me when I've needed help. He's helped with the colorizing of it, and he's done some visual effects for it. And he took photos of the actors because we have some new footage from
Nice.
this year. Yeah, yeah.
That is so nice. I'm so excited about that because the thing is too, as long as you have somebody with you that's supportive and can help you, that is the thing. My husband likes to make videos and stuff like that. So sometimes he'll do like stories for me and things like that because he loves to do that. I don't know. Just one day he started playing around with it. And he would make these little movies and put the music on it and stuff. And people started responding. So,
Oh, that's great.
that was amazing. So I'm like, okay, so I need you to make me some stories.
Also, he does creative projects too.
Yeah, he'll be sitting doing that. And I'm like, okay, it's all good. It works out. Because I was telling him, he said somebody reached out to him and was asking him, did he do that? And he was like, I really even know what to say. I was like, well, said if it's something you desire, just jump on it or whatever. But yeah,
Totally.
I'm so excited. Okay, so share any last things you want to share with the people, and then share how they can find you, how they can connect with you.
Oh, thanks. Thanks so much. Gee, I'm not sure I know what else to share. Well,
Any insight for someone who is wanting to do what you do?
oh, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, I would say just do it. Don't think about it. And I think a huge thing that I really learned is there are always going to be people out there who question you, who suggest that you can't do it for whatever reason, in whatever way they say it. I have learned that the most successful people almost never do that. It's the people who aren't successful at it. It's usually the people who aren't even in the industry who do that.
Yes.
And that if you try to respond to them in a way to argue or to get them to approve by telling them about your little achievements. And when I say little, I mean like as you're going, the small ones, all it's going to do is suck you back down because they're not going to say anything that's going to be helpful. It'll just be something like a question where the answer is going to have to be no, like, are you getting paid? So instead of looking at what you achieved, you're going to have to say no, and that's going to feel bad.
No.
Right. Right. So the best thing you can do is not talk to them about it. And if they bring it up, change the subject. Say something like, oh, I love your earrings, or just ask them a question about themselves and they will just get sucked back into that. But surround yourself with supportive people. And it's usually people in the industry who are either trying to do what you're doing also, or have done it. And then just do it. Don't overthink it. You might as well do it. And you never know where that could lead.
Yes, that is perfect. Do it. And that's what I say too. I say, what you got to do like Nike. Just do
Like
it.
Nike, right? Exactly.
Yep. I was like, because the thing is if you tell too many people and people, and what I find too is people are so jealous. I'm like, if you want to do it, then you do it. But fucking leave me alone.
Totally.
And that's the thing. It's like,
yeah,
you want to do it, but don't be raining on my parade because
right.
because you don't feel like you can do whatever it is that you decide. But
right, exactly. And think about when you were 3 years old or 5 years old and you said, I'm gonna draw a castle. You never thought, well, can I do it? I'm not really as good as
no, you never even thought about
Rembrandt, or
that.
yeah, you just do it. That's the best advice, is to just do it and just turn your brain off.
Yes, I was going to say that trust factor is huge. I mean,
Yeah.
in yourself,
Yeah.
it's like just trust.
Right.
So on that, we're going to end this. I am super excited that Breindel has decided to join me. It's been an amazing conversation. I hope that you got so much out of it like I did. And I know I say this every single interview that I do, but it's so amazing. And it's been such a beautiful time together. And I love it. And I'm so excited. And just thinking of what she has created and what she is creating, it just makes me like, oh, giddy inside, because I love to see how people just transform, their whole life. Because, truth be told, anytime you are creating something and you put something out into the world and it catches on, it changes your whole life.
Hmm.
Even the creation
Absolutely.
process, right?
Yep. Absolutely. And if you want to see the trailer, you can go to imdb.com and type in celebrities TV series. Mhm.
Okay. All right, definitely we'll do that, and definitely make sure that you check that out and that you follow Breindel, because I'm super excited. She does some other stuff too, and so we'll probably do another time and talk about that.
Sure,
Because
I'd be very happy to.
and I definitely want to invite you into my group too, so you can come and do a thing in there. So again,
Oh,
thank you so much for hanging out with us. It has been fabulous and amazing time, and I hope that you all got so much out of it. And I'm sending you so much love and appreciation. So thank you for joining us. Bye now.